Okay, let's talk about something. What if the most powerful tool in your IT team's toolbox was also their single biggest vulnerability? Today, we're diving into a really critical threat: how the very AI assistants that are used to build our digital world can be turned against us to expose the blueprints of an entire infrastructure.
And just so you know where this is all coming from, the insights we're about to unpack are directly from Chapter 6 of a fantastic, detailed tutorial on AI data threats published by Virtualization Options LLC. We're really zeroing in on their analysis of this very specific and very new risk. So you might be wondering, just how big of a problem is this really? Well, let's look at the numbers because they are pretty staggering. This is not some fringe issue. A whopping 91% of IT staff are using AI tools right now. And here's the real kicker. 68%, more than two-thirds of their queries contain sensitive details about your systems. The result? 43% of organizations have already seen their infrastructure intelligence leak out. This isn't theoretical. It is happening right now.
All right, to really get our heads around this threat, we're going to walk through the entire story, from start to finish. We'll start with how AI even became this IT co-pilot in the first place. Then we'll uncover exactly what kind of sensitive information is being exposed. From there, we'll actually step into the shoes of an attacker. We'll look at a real-world breach. And then, most importantly, we'll lay out a concrete plan to build your defense.
So let's start with the new reality inside pretty much every IT department out there. AI isn't some far-off concept anymore. For the people on the ground doing the work, it's become an absolutely essential co-pilot for their day-to-day jobs.
I mean, think about the daily grind, right? Troubleshooting a tricky network issue, documenting complex systems, writing scripts, even designing new architecture. AI makes all of that faster and easier. But here's the paradox. Every single query that boosts productivity also has the potential to crack open a small window into your most critical systems. It's creating this massive, often invisible, exposure risk.
So when we use that word exposure, what are we actually talking about? What's really at stake? Let's get super specific about the crown jewels of your IT department that are being put on the table. First and foremost, we're talking about the very blueprint of your digital operations. Think about it for a second. A seemingly harmless question about a network route, combined with another one about a server config, and maybe another about a cloud layout. Over time, an attacker can piece these little fragments together to map out your entire system, including exactly how data flows through it. Next up, your defenses. When an engineer asks an AI for help with a tricky firewall rule or to research a new security tool, they can accidentally leak the exact details of your security posture. This tells an attacker not just where your walls are, but more importantly, where the gaps in your monitoring might be, the blind spots. And it's not just about the infrastructure, it's also your unique proprietary code. When your developers use AI to help write or debug something, they might be pasting in source code patterns, API secrets, or maybe even hard-coded credentials. It's literally like handing an attacker the raw ingredients to cook up a custom-made exploit just for you. And finally, it doesn't even stop with what you've built yourself. It also includes what you've bought. Little details about your technology vendors, how they're integrated into your systems, who to contact for support. All of that can be leaked. And that creates the perfect opening for a really sophisticated supply chain attack. Okay, so you've got all these scattered bits of information leaking out. How does an attacker actually turn that into a weapon? Well, it's not about luck. It's a methodical, step-by-step playbook. Let's walk through how they turn these seemingly harmless queries into a full-blown compromise.
It's a 5-step process, and it's brutally effective. It starts with simple reconnaissance, just listening and learning what your team is asking about. Then they move to targeted queries to pull out specific details. In step 3, pattern assembly, that's where they start connecting the dots. This leads right to step 4, vulnerability identification, where they find the weak points in your armor. And it all culminates in the final step, exploit development, where they build the actual attack.
And this right here is where the theory hits the road. Just look at the straight line between a totally normal IT task and a critical security failure. Troubleshooting a server? Boom. That can expose a hidden vulnerability. Trying to document your architecture? You might be revealing the entire network map. Every single routine task, from writing code to researching a problem, becomes a potential doorway for an attacker.
And I have to stress, this is not just a theory. This exact playbook has been used out in the wild, and the consequences can be devastating. So how bad can this actually get?
Let's take a look at a real-world breach at a financial services company that shows just how catastrophic this kind of intelligence leak can become.
The company's CISO, their head of security, was completely stunned. A highly sophisticated attacker, an Advanced Persistent Threat Group, or APT, basically the big leagues of hacking, seemed to know their network better than their own team did. They knew the firewall rules, the network segments, and crucially, they knew where the security team's blind spots were. The source of all this devastating intel? The AI chat history of a single senior engineer.
So here's the most important point. By compromising just one account and sifting through months of AI chat logs, the attackers didn't just find a single vulnerability. No, they acquired a complete, detailed blueprint of the entire technical environment. They had the map, they had the keys, and they knew exactly where the guards weren't looking.
Which brings us to the most important question of all. What in the world can you do about it? Let's walk through a real, actionable strategy for building your digital fortress against this very modern threat.
Your defense absolutely has to be multi-layered. It starts with step 1, flat out prohibiting certain categories of information from ever being typed into an AI. For everything else, step 2 requires you to sanitize the data, strip out the sensitive stuff. Step 3 is crucial. Use segregated environments for AI tools. Then, you absolutely need manual reviews of AI outputs, and finally, have a plan to respond fast if a leak does happen. It's a whole process. So what does that look like on a normal Tuesday afternoon for your engineer? It means setting really clear, simple rules. When you're researching a security threat, you only use hypothetical scenarios. When you're developing code, you use pseudocode, never real production code. And when you're writing documentation, sure, use AI for formatting, but never, ever for generating content with specific architectural details.
Ultimately, everything we've talked about really comes down to this one question. The exact same AI that can accelerate your work can also provide an attacker with a perfect roadmap right into your systems. Without the right controls in place, your greatest asset becomes your most dangerous attack vector. Which leaves you with one critical question to think about. In your organization right now, which one is it?